Guys, my name is Adrian Garces, and my TED Talk today is going to be about why Lionel Andres Messi is the GOAT of modern football, if not football in its entirety, since football first kicked back in the 1800s or back to um, way back with the Aztecs when they first created the sport. But here's my reasons why as to why I believe he is the GOAT. We're going to go based off the eye test when you watch the sport, how beautiful the game is. We're gonna go off the numbers. We're gonna go off the trophies. We're gonna go off everything. But here is my spiel as to why I think he is the GOAT. When you talk about the GOAT conversation, there's two fractions, factions. I mean, as to who people believe is the GOAT. It's either Lionel Andres Messi or it's Cristiano Ronaldo. And if you're talking to somebody older, they might say Pele or Maradona. But for to keep this simple, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo are usually the first two people go to when you talk about this debate, especially in this generation of modern football. Um, the thing about Messi is you can go about a couple different ways, as I mentioned. When you look at him play, he just plays so beautifully. Not only is he a goal scorer, which is what Cristiano Ronaldo is known for doing because he has played most of his career within the box. He is a striker, or maybe he's playing on the wing, but he's never been a certified playmaker. But Messi, he just surpassed Cristiano Ronaldo for the top goal scorer in Europe all time, scoring 702 goals. Currently, Cristiano Ronaldo plays in the Saudi Arabian League because as you get older, it's hard to maintain that form of greatness. So his form has dipped a little bit. So he's taking his talents to a less competitive league. Lionel Messi, on the other hand, is 35 years old, and he just won the World Cup, where he won Player of the Tournament. He was, I think, he was one off the top goal scorer. Kylian Mbappe edged him by one goal, but he was the tournament's leading assister. So here are just some of the reasons why I think he is the greatest to ever grace the sport in his entirety since he first stepped onto a pitch at 17 years old at FC Barcelona in Spain. First off, individually, by the numbers, these are his individual words, his accolades. The first one, just to start things off, to give you an idea, he's won the Balón de Oro 7 times, which if you don't know what that is basically on any given year, if you win the Balón de Oro, that means you have been voted by journalists, coaches, and players as being the best player on the planet for that year. Usually what goes into that is if you win trophies and if you have a lot of good numbers. The main numbers are either assists and goals, goal contributions, you might call them, within the amount of games you play. Mostly, if you play in a lot of tournaments and if you're playing on a good team, you play about 60 games or so within a season. Um, so he has won that award 7 times. Okay, there's a lot more, but that's the main crux or the main thing I want to point out, just to give you an idea of how great he is. When we talk about team accolades for club, because you play for club and country, for if you're a player, he's won the UEFA Champions League, which is the greatest tournament in Europe, probably outside of the World Cup, one of the most important tournaments in club football. He's won it 4 times. He's won the UEFA Super Cup 3 times. He won the FIFA World Cup 3 times. He won La Liga 10 times, the Copa del Rey 7 times, the Spanish Super Cup 8 times, and the Joan Gamper Trophy 11 times. When we talk about country, he's won the Copa America once. He's won the Olympic medal once. He's won the FIFA Under 20 World Cup once. He's won the South American Youth Championship once, and he's won the Under 20 South American Championship 1 time also. So he's done it for both club and country, and not to mention he recently just won the World Cup, which is coveted by many soccer players to be the most important trophy you can ever win as a footballer. That is what you want to win when you play this sport. Because it only happens every 4 years. There's so many greats who don't have a World Cup under the belt, like Cristiano Ronaldo, and Messi had just recently won it. So that's another reason why he might be the GOAT. When we dive deep into the numbers, like I just mentioned, he's a goal scorer. He just surpassed Ronaldo for being the best goal scorer in Europe. Europe, which is basically the most competitive league you can play in. But he's so much more than that. He's a playmaker. In 2019, when they did the research comparing all the greatest playmakers in Europe, people who are considered to be only playmakers or that is their marquee specialty. When you compare their key passes in a game, which are passes that lead to chances, so it could be a pass to another pass that led to an assist, or we talk about expected assists, passes that were so good that the person he passed it to should have finished them off, but for some reason did it, or maybe they did, so they take both of them into account. He was head over heels above the rest. He was just far superior than everybody else. What this tells me, if you were just to look at the numbers, right, he has certain layers to his game that others only wish they could have. Not only is he superior when it comes to goal scoring, because if I didn't mention it before, he actually does hold the record for the most goals scored in the calendar year, which is 91, which he passed up Jared Mueller, a record that he broke with 85 goals in the calendar year in 1985, I believe, or 1972. That's when he broke it. So and Messi broke it in 2012. So he has the record for scoring the most goals in the calendar year, but he's also one of the greatest playmakers of our generation. And he stands at 5'8". He's one of the smallest people on the pitch. His impact is can't be measured. It's infallible. You just have to kind of watch and play a little bit to kind of get the idea of what this all kind of means in the context of the beautiful game. But if we're just going off statistics, does it both offensively when it comes to goal scoring and also when it comes to playmaking and setting up his teammates. Here are just some quotes from the football greats. Pep Guardiola, considered one of the better coaches of the generation, if not one of the greatest coaches of the generation. He coached Messi for an early period in his early career, and this is what he said. He's the best ever. There's no other like him. The numbers speak for themselves. One day he'll score 6. We'll never see a player quite like him again. We witnessed one of Messi's special nights tonight. It's a gift, and I will always be able to say that I coached him. The only credit I can take is I always put him in the team, and we just try to make sure he gets the ball. After he does that, our task is done. The throne belongs to him, and he will decide when he wants to relinquish it. Pep Guardiola said that. Diego Maradona, one of the greats, as I mentioned before, considered the greatest Argentine football player of all time until Messi came into the picture, and he recently passed away. He said, I've seen a player who will inherit my place in Argentina football, and his name is Messi. He is beautiful to watch. My kind of player in our blue and white jersey. He's a leader and is offering classes in beautiful football. He is something different to any other player in the world. So not only have I given you the statistics to prove that he's the best player, but I've given you quotes from some of the all-time greats of football to kind of back up the claim that he is the greatest player. People who know more than me, people who play the sport at the highest level possible, whether it's tactically as a coach or as a player. In conclusion, I don't want to ramble on, but Messi is the GOAT for these reasons, as I mentioned before. Not only is he an all-time goal scorer, he's an all-time playmaker. He's individually and collectively won everything there is to win in football after winning the World Cup. He has everything there is to win. He has won everything, and not only that, if you don't want to go off the numbers, if you just watch him play, you'll be mesmerized. He passes everything that there is to pass when it comes to what makes a great football player, or at least what the test may be. And he has won the most Ballon d'Or, which signifies that he is the best player at 7 times in his career. And he currently holds the record, and he might just win another one at the end of this season because he just won the World Cup where he was the best player of the tournament, and that's usually how it goes. So he might win 8. 3 over his competitor in the GOAT debate, Cristiano Ronaldo. But that's my 2 cents on the issue, my TED Talk. I think he is the greatest all time, and hopefully after this, you will agree with me. Thank you.